Hi everyone, it's Helen Horta here, founder of Form Help. Welcome to my channel, and we are looking at the DPD today. So this is an updated version. Okay, so we are on the Australian Government Department of Home Affairs page, and we will look for the link to get straight into the DPD. So over here, I'm going to select a DPD online form. Okay, so as you can see here, it's the Australia Digital Passenger Declaration, or the DPD. So I'm not going to do so much reading today. So it says here before you start, so have a look through that. If you're happy to proceed, then go to sign in. And if you haven't created an account, then go ahead and create an account. I'm going to go straight to sign in. So once you get into sign in, you can see the options here: create an account, or put in your username and your password and then proceed to continue. And you can see here that you have your current. If you have any current DPDs, it will show up here, and it will also show up with any past DPDs you may have had. Let's go ahead and select new DPD. And then you'll come to this part here which says before you provide your passport. So just make sure you got your passport and your vaccine certificate ready, and the images must be a JPEG, JPG, PNG or PDF in order for you to upload it. Then make sure you're using your current passport that you will travel to Australia with. And then for any dual citizens with Australia, should use their Australian passport. Okay, let's proceed to continue. Now it says enter your flight details to start a new declaration. Now if your flight has a stopover on the way to Australia, please enter both legs of the flight separately. So go ahead and put in your flight number and your flight departure date, and then press the search icon here. And then if you can't find your flight, then you'll need to manually enter the details here. So let's go ahead and put in some flight details. So for this example, we will type in a flight number. And a departure date. And then we'll go to search. Now as you can see here, it shows up with the flight. Let's just have a check to see that it is the correct flight. Okay, so just looking at the details, that is the correct flight. Okay, confirm. So read this information collection consent here, and if you agree with it, then go ahead and select I agree. Now in this section here, you need to provide your passport. So you can either upload a photo of your passport page, or you can enter the passport details manually. So let's go ahead and enter the passport details manually. So as you can see here, these are the details that you will need to enter manually for your passport details. So go ahead and put in your family name, surname, put in your given names, your travel document number or your passport number, your nationality, and then put in your date of birth, your gender, the date of issue of your passport, the date that it expires, and the country of issue. And then you can upload an image of your passport page and then confirm and continue. Next, you'll be asked to review your passport details. So just check that your passport number is correct, that your full name and your date of birth are correct, your gender and country are correct, the date of issue and date of expiration of your passport are correct, and then continue to confirm and continue. Or if you need to amend or correct any of the details, then go back and correct them. Okay, so we will proceed to confirm and continue. Now it says here, add your travel history. Now, have you been or will you be in any other countries in the 14 days prior to your flight to Australia? Now in this example, because I am flying from New Zealand, I'm going to select yes. Because I am flying from New Zealand, I'm going to go ahead and type in New Zealand. If I need to add another country, or if you need to add another country, then proceed to add another country visited. But because I'm not, I'm going to press the rubbish icon to remove that, and then proceed to continue. And if you haven't visited any other countries, then just proceed to continue. Next we come to the planned movement section, and it will ask if you are transiting through Australia to another country. If you are, select yes. And then it says here, if you are transiting through Australia to another country, select the time or the length of time you will be in transit. So go ahead and make your selection. And then your final destination country, go ahead and select your final destination country. And then your expected departure port from Australia. So go ahead and do that. Now, if you are not transiting through Australia to another country, then just select no. And then for any interstate travel, within 14 days after arriving in Australia or within 14 days of leaving quarantine, do you intend to travel to another state and or territory? If you select yes, then you need to select which states or territories you are traveling to. And if you select no, and then for travel intent, do you intend to live in Australia for the next 12 months? If you select yes, these are your options. We'll go through them individually. So if you are migrating permanently to Australia, then you need to put in your occupation and then proceed to continue. Now, if you select visitor or temporary entrant, you need to put in there your intended length of stay in Australia. So either years, months, or days. If you choose years, then put in the number of years. If it's months, number of months. If it's days, put in the number of days here. Now put in your country of residence, and then put in your main reason for travel. So these are your options here. So you're traveling for a convention or conference, business, visiting friends or relatives, employment, education, exhibition, holiday. And if your reason for travel does not fit into any one of these categories, then choose other. And then put in your occupation and proceed to continue. Okay, so if you are a resident returning to Australia, which country did you spend most of your time abroad? So go ahead and put in the country there. Put in your main reason for travel. Again, choose any of the options there that apply to your situation, and then select occupation and proceed to continue. Next we come to contact details. Help us reach out to you. So put in your intended address in Australia. So type it there, or you can either enter it manually. Put in your contact details in Australia. So put in your number and your email address. If you don't have a Australian number or SIM card, just put in the current number that you have now. So select the country here for your country code, and then type in your current number. And then your preferred contact method, phone or email, select one. And for your emergency contact details, the emergency contact details can be in Australia or overseas. So go ahead and put in your contacts' given names, their family name, their contact number, their email address. Enter your address, so your current address, or you can enter your address manually, and then proceed to confirm and continue. Next you'll come to review trip details. So it says here, please review your trip details below and make sure everything is right. So check your flight details. If you press on that down arrow there, it will show up with your details. The same for passenger identity, travel history, planned movements, and contact details. So check them all, and if you are happy, then go ahead and submit trip. And next you'll come up with this message here, which says you will only be able to amend contact details once you have submitted your trip. Okay, continue. Now once you have completed your trip details, you should receive an email like this one that says you are now able to submit the quarantine details of your DPD. Please do so before your flight, and then more information is available on this link here. And then it says, sincerely, the Department of Home Affairs. So in this example here, you can see that your trip details have been submitted. The quarantine details have commenced. So we'll go ahead and look at the quarantine details. Okay, so we need you to answer some questions about quarantine in Australia to help fast track your accommodation requirements, and you can update your answers at any time before you check in for your flight. Okay, so go ahead and read through this section here. And just be aware of the penalties that apply for breaches of state and territory health orders and which quarantine arrangement applies to you on arrival in Australia. So if you're not sure, then you need to click on this link here and it will tell you what the requirements are for each of the states that you are traveling to. Now you must comply with public health requirements, including post-arrival testing and quarantine requirements in the state or territory of your arrival and any other state or territory that you plan to travel to. Now, some states and territories require approval prior to travel. And now in this section here, it says, I have checked the quarantine requirements of the jurisdiction of first arrival and any other domestic jurisdictions I intend to travel to, and I have made quarantine arrangements prior to my travel where required. Now you need to go ahead and select one of these options. So your three options are government managed quarantine, which is territory or state hotel quarantine. Now the questions that will follow are, so do you wish to quarantine with any other passengers? And if you select yes, you will need to put in here how many people will be in your hotel quarantine room. And then the next set of questions are all yes or no questions. So we'll go through those. So will you require medical or other assistance while you are in quarantine? If you select yes. Do you need to see a doctor when you arrive? If you select yes, then you need to provide details of your illness here. Do you have any pre-existing medical conditions? If you select yes, there's no further questions. Will you require additional prescription medication to cover your 14 days in quarantine? If you select yes, go ahead and provide the details of your medication. Do you need mobility aids or assistance? If you select yes, no further questions. Are you suffering from mental health conditions? If you select yes, no further questions. Are you pregnant? Yes, no further questions. Are you caring for a baby? Yes. Do you suffer from any, and then there's no further questions. Do you suffer from any allergies? Yes. Okay, then you need to specify your allergies. Do you need an interpreter during quarantine? If you select yes, then you need to specify the language that you need an interpreter for. Do you require any other assistance? And if you select yes, then you just need to provide the details of the support you require and then proceed to continue. Now, if you select no for all of these, then the process will be won't be as long. It will be shorter because there are no further questions to answer. So I'm going to go ahead and select no for all of these and no. So if we go ahead and select other quarantine arrangements, including home quarantine, then you just need to select continue. If you select quarantine free arrival, then you can just proceed to continue. So I do get quite a lot of questions regarding these two options here. So other quarantine arrangements and quarantine free arrival. So these two options here are for those who are fully vaccinated. So if you if you didn't arrive into Australia on a quarantine free arrival flight, then go ahead and choose this option here. Whereas if you did arrive on a quarantine-free arrival flight, then go ahead and select this option here. And if you're not sure whether or not you have arrived on a quarantine-free arrival flight, just ask your airline provider and they'll be able to let you know. So once you've made your selection, then proceed to continue. Okay, so this section here is review and confirm your quarantine declaration. So have a read through this section here. So take note of this sentence over here. So I have checked the quarantine requirements of the jurisdiction of first arrival and any other domestic jurisdictions I intend to travel to. and I've made quarantine arrangements prior to my travel where required. So you need to select one, which we have already selected, and this is the one that I selected, which is quarantine-free arrival, fully vaccinated only, and it's not available in all states. Now, if you are happy with your selection, go ahead and proceed to submit. If you need to amend that selection, then proceed to amend. And if you need to save and exit, then just save and exit. And once your health information section has unlocked, you will receive an email saying you are now able to submit the health declaration of your Australian DPD. Now please do so before your flight, and more information will be available on this link here, and sincerely, the Department of Home Affairs. Now for this example, you can see here that our trip details have been submitted, the quarantine details have been submitted. Now for the health information section, this will only unlock 72 hours, exactly 72 hours before your departure flight. Because the example flight that we put in here was for the 25th of April, that is within the 72 hours before my flight's departure. So this health information section will only open exactly 72 hours before your departure flight. Now, because the 25th of April falls within that window frame, that's the only reason why this health information section is unlocked. Now, you can see up here that it says 2 days remaining. So some people will see here that it says 3 days remaining to complete your declaration, and their health information section still will be locked. Just make sure that you count exactly 72 hours before your departure flight, because that is when this health information will unlock. Okay, so try not to pay too much attention to this because it can be off sometimes. Okay, let's go ahead and complete our health information section. Now, your health declaration will be shared with state and territory authorities in line with the privacy policy. Now, are you an Australian citizen, permanent resident, or immediate family member? If you select yes, there's no further questions. If you select no, there's no further questions. So giving false or misleading information to the Australian government is a serious offence. So penalties apply to breaches of state and territory public health orders, and you are declaring that you are fully vaccinated with an Australian approved or recognised COVID-19 vaccine, and you have evidence to support this, and your last dose of vaccine was at least 7 days before the day of your flight is scheduled to depart. So your two options are yes or no. So if you select yes, there's no further questions. If you select no, then it says here, I am under 18 years of age and not fully vaccinated. And if you select no, the next questions are, I am under 18 years of age and not fully vaccinated. So for parents who have children that are unvaccinated because they're too young or for whatever reason, you can go ahead and select yes and then proceed to continue, and there will be more questions later on. So if you select no for this question, the following question will be, I am over 18 years of age and declare I cannot be vaccinated for medical reasons. I have medical proof to support this, and then you can see the medical exemption when coming to Australia link there. And if you select yes, then it says here, if you are claiming a medical exemption from COVID-19, please attach your evidence here. So go ahead and upload your evidence there. And if you say no, and the next it will say, I do not meet Australia's vaccination requirements. If you select yes, then you can proceed to continue. And if you select a no, then you can still proceed to continue. So for this example here, I am going to select yes for this question here, and yes, and proceed to continue. Okay, so then the next section is the vaccination details. So you need to ensure you enter your important vaccination information, including all doses and booster before you leave this page. Now, do you have a vaccination certificate or evidence of vaccination to upload? Now, if you do, select yes, and it says that you can upload your vaccination certificate here. And if you have an international COVID-19 certificate issued by the Australian government, it is preferred that you upload a PDF version of the Australian government issued one. Now, if you don't have one of those, so for all other vaccination certificates, it's important that you enter your vaccination information, including all doses and booster, in the section below. Okay, so in this example, we're going to upload our vaccination certificates or evidence. So once you've uploaded your evidence, it will show up here in this section here. As you can see here, it has your traveller details, so it will have your passport holder name, your date of birth, and your passport number. And then you have your traveller vaccine doses. So the question is asking, how many COVID-19 vaccine doses have you had? Now this includes your booster. So select 1, 2, 3 or more doses. So in this example, we are going to go 3 or more doses. Now you need to go ahead and put in the vaccine dose 1 information. So put in the date of the vaccination, the country of the vaccination, and the vaccine brand. For dose 2, you're going to do the same thing. So put in the date of the vaccination, the country of the vaccination, and the vaccine brand. For dose 3, put in the vaccination date, put in the country of the vaccination, and the vaccine brand. And once you're done, go to Save and Next. Next, you'll come to this section here, review your health information. So it says here, please review your health information that you're provided. And once you've reviewed, so just press on these arrows here to review your information. And once you are happy, then you can proceed to submit. And once you have submitted all of those 3 sections, you can have a look at, you can view your summary, and you can also print your DPD summary. So in this section here, you will have a full summary or your DPD summary. So it will have all your details there. And then pay attention to this note here. So you should print or download this page and store it safely for use when requested on your day of travel, and ensure you have evidence of your vaccination information for presentation before boarding and at the Australian border as required. I know that some people have said that they've had all this information on them and nobody's even bothered to check that information. But, you know, I would just err on the side of caution, and I'll just take it, because you never know, you might be randomly selected to present these documents. Now, another common question I receive is about the border declaration treatment status, which shows on this example, not applicable. Now, if it says not applicable, then don't worry about it. It doesn't apply to you. Now, you can go ahead and print your DPD summary so that you can carry that with you on board or have a copy on your device. Now, it says here again, please print or download this page and store it safely for use when requested on your day of travel. So the DPD is not permission to enter Australia. Check coming to Australia, this link here, for information about the requirements you must meet to enter Australia. So you can go ahead and print your DPD summary there. And once your DPD is complete, you should receive an email that says your DPD is complete. And it will read, please print a copy of your DPD summary screen or save an image of the summary screen on your mobile device to show at check-in along with your vaccination information. You can access the summary screen by clicking on the View Summary button in your DPD account, and your airline check-in agent will ensure you have completed your DPD, including for any children that you're traveling with, and your vaccination information before completing check-in. Now, for more information, visit to the Department of Home Affairs website, and then thank you from the Department of Home Affairs. So expect an email like that. And that concludes our tutorial video on the Australia DPD. Now hopefully you found that helpful. All the best as you're going through completing your DPD. Don't hesitate to leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to answer any of your queries and as soon as I am able to. And you can also reach out to the Global Service Centre, who are the experts in answering your questions. So don't be afraid to give them a call, and I'll leave their contact details in the description box below. You can also check the comment section below to see if your query has already been answered. Okay, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you can help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, that would be greatly appreciated. So please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again, all the best, safe travels, and take care everyone. It's Helen Hortai, founder of Form Help, signing out. Have a great day.